Hey, I'm Aimee Cross, and I'm going completely off the rails here and going into something completely different than what I normally do on my channel. But with the shooting of Charlie Kirk, there have been some things that have been said that I think are good and bad. And I have encountered some footage of a news conference that I think has a message that we need to talk about. And as I've watched our country over the last 5-10 years, whatever, I'm just really discouraged by what's happening. And I feel like I need to take an opportunity using my platform to say something. So with the shooting of Charlie Kirk, and I'm not bringing this up because I lean Republican or Democrat or anything like that. It wouldn't have mattered to me whether he was a Democrat or a Republican. I really hope that his family, at the moment that I'm recording this, I haven't seen any news coverage that says whether or not his wife and children were there, right there when he was shot. I really hope that is not the case. But I really, really hope that was not the case. I hope they were just somewhere in the area and that they did not witness that personally. But it really discourages me. And I watched a news conference this morning where the governor of Utah made some remarks that I thought were really wise. And I would like to share them with you. So this is footage that the Associated Press released, but all of the news stations, were recording this. And I just want to show you what he had to say, because I really believe that we got to get a grip on things. We've got to learn how to respect and love one another. And anyway, watch this and I'll sum up with a couple of my own thoughts.
I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much.
I actually need to pause here because I need to let you know, I don't know this governor. I don't live in Utah. I really know nothing about this man. And I don't really know anything about Charlie either. I have not followed him. I'm kind of ignorant, I'll be honest, about what he's done or hasn't done or whatever. So I'm not doing this because I want to back anybody.
As anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path.
I really appreciate
Your
that.
generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now.
We have to do this.
Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different.
I've edited a little bit of this out just because I want to make this relatively short and sweet. But I do agree that we need to be able to have communication, to have conversations without violence, without hatred.
I want to thank my fellow Utahns. You know, this bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last two nights. There was no rioting.
That's
There was
powerful.
no looting.
No writing.
There were no cars set on fire.
I like that.
There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes. Because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse.
Yes.
But see, these are choices that we can make.
He kind of concluded this conversation with saying that a lot of times people think that good things are just going to happen. They're optimistic, but that's not true. Good things aren't just going to happen. We have to make a choice. We have to make a choice to make good things happen. And so I so respect my friends, and I have friends that are strong Democrats, that are strong Republicans, that are strong independents, that have very passionate feelings about the things that they believe are important. And I'm so grateful for those friendships because I have the opportunity to be enlightened and to hear different perspectives. But when we close down the walls, when we just say, oh, that's just a Republican who doesn't know what they're talking about, or that's just a Democrat who doesn't know what they're talking about, then we're eliminating the opportunity to learn from one another, to compromise, and to get things done in a positive way. And so this may be the kiss of death for my channel, but I just feel like we need more voices out there that are saying, enough. And as older adults, and that's a lot of the people that are watching my channel, we need to exemplify this to the younger people that are in our lives. Because with social media, we're just getting ramped up because people can say things when they're not saying it face to face that they would not say if they were face to face. And I just feel like, yes, believe in the things that you believe in and argue for them and fight for them, but fight for them in a way that is productive, not violent. And make your voice heard, but make it heard respectfully. And respectfully listen to the people that you have around you that are different than you are. Because we can never grow, and we can never, as a society, like he said, tackle the difficult things and make things better if we can't find a way to listen to one another. So if anything good comes out of this shooting, I hope that we can be better, that we can choose to be better. And I hope you forgive me for taking a moment to just share my thoughts about this. If you aren't a subscriber to my channel and you are interested in finding your ancestors and learning more about you and where you come from, subscribe and I'll take you on that journey, because it's really powerful and it's pretty amazing. And quite frankly, it's really cool to learn where you come from. It gives you a sense of identity. And I think we need that more, a positive identity in our country. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day.